Early July, and we're getting to peak summer heat and growth happening here at our Edible Acres 2 site. Take a look in the chicken yard one of these days soon. We'll do an update video. Today I'd like to focus on the living wall. Earlier in the season I had suggested that it seemed as though it was going to get to a point this season where you simply couldn't see through it from the road, and it has happened. I want to go into detail about how this is all growing. It's pretty stunning how thick it is. Sasha and I, every time we drive in or walk by it, we're always amazed at just how much visual and sound protection vegetation can provide. So I'm going to get into it in detail. Stick with us. It's fun to start with the long view here. Looking at it from across the street, you can certainly see the roof of our home from this distance. But as far as eye level from cars driving by or folks walking by, you'd be hard-pressed to know that there's a active chicken composting operation on the other side of that lush, deep green wall. And it's filled with all sorts of flowers for our pollinators. All sorts of wild fruits are forming. I'm going to shush up as this car goes by. Yep. The need for the living wall reveals itself often. But anyway, so very full, especially on our eastern side here. So maybe I'm going to start going into this first, because this is the side that's really functioning. A great place to start, since it's such a highlight, is this Viper's bugloss, Viper's bugloss. Been told a number of different ways of saying it. Anyway, it's considered a weed by people, air quotes. Sasha found out about this plant online and saw how beneficial it was for wild pollinators. And so when we first established this space, she roughed up the soil right along the road and planted out some transplants, and it's since naturalized. We thought we'd lose it for a minute because the wild garlic that we had planted in here seem to have taken over, but now they're very compatible with each other. And once the sun gets on this, it's just absolutely teeming with bees. Tons and tons of flowers, really beautiful, and it is completely tolerant of the crap that comes off the roads, the salts, the other BS, and seems to provide a great taprooting, decompacting, soil protecting edge context. The thing that blows my mind is the view of this beautiful flower with the now flowering elders right behind it. So these are some cultivar varietals of elder. Also, as a side note, we updated our inventory on the website, so cuttings and plants of the different elders we have, the willows, the miscanthus, the ingredients in this fence are available again for fall. But the elder's in peak flower, doing its thing. You can see the poplars are popping through. And we put in variegated willows this spring along the bottom. They've been having a little bit of a hard time getting established since the rest of the elements are just so incredibly vigorous. But here they are. I go through and prune periodically, and it looks like the deer are walking along the road and getting some of these. Looking at this side of the fence from the northeast corner inward, you can see that by a long shot, the character that does the most work in here is the Miscanthus grass. It's now in early July at about 7 or 8 feet. This season they'll get to around 10 to 12 feet. Again, this is a type of super hardy perennial grass that does not spread by seed. Thank goodness, because it is so vigorous and so strong. 3 years in from planting tiny root fragments every foot, it's now at a point where I would have a hard time being able to push through there. Certainly is acting as a deer barrier for the other side, and it's incredibly dense overall and quite beautiful. The flowers haven't even formed. The perennial sunflower, Helianthus giganteus, they're filling out vegetatively, and their real benefit is to provide a great beautiful flower in the fall, great nectar flow. We saved seed from them last year and are growing out some from seed. It seems like they grow pretty well, so this year we're going to save a lot more seed and grow them out so folks can have access to them next season if they wanted them. Take a look at the other side of the driveway where we've got the more substantial curly willow cuttings going on and a lot more complexity. So those are the curly willows that I pollarded this spring. But here is a worthwhile note. You might be seeing, here's a willow that is either having disease pressure, or I think more than anything it's that there are little creatures that are eating the leaves. I'd love to hear from folks. Who are these little beings? Anyway, a few of the willows, they're hammering pretty hard. And this is a great moment because part of the idea with permaculture is observe and interact. And so right now I'm in observe mode. And because the initial design for this living wall was from the outset all about really high level diversity, seeing the willows being chewed up in little spots here or there, it's not very stressful because waiting in the wings, as you can see, there's a redbud, there's elderberry, there are all sorts of herbaceous plants, there's sunchokes all in there, there's lovage, there's valerian. And so if that willow passes away, or even if a few of them pass away, the cast of characters is so complex and diverse and packed that it will fill right in. And in fact, you can see there's a light gap on that one willow, and maybe it's a good thing if that one happens to pass away because it'll promote more diversity in the wall. So the real benefit of going for a wide genetic net in close proximity at the outset, somebody may argue, well, if you didn't plant so many darn plants around them, the willows would have been able to do much better on their own. And that may be true, but it may just be that there's a pest, so to speak, coming through, and the few willows may get cleaned out and the other cast of characters fill in. But I suspect in the end the willow will rebound completely and grow beautifully. You can see we're letting burdock and teasel fill in this season. It's just such a dense, beautiful, decompacting set of plants to have in here. We did not plant those, they showed up and we're happy to have them. I pruned the burdock back a bit here or there as it gets in the way of the coltsfoot, which we really love. This showed up as well. Really appropriate plant for a ditch here on the north side of this wall. Evening primrose has shown up. A lot of nice wild characters are starting to tuck in and join the gang and do some work over here. But you can see this side, although not as thick because of the Miscanthus, you still really can't see through it. I'm trying to wrap things up here. Sorry for such a long video. Here we are, it's summer, third growing season of this. And it's just so lovely to see how powerfully fast plants can grow even when they're planted so close to one another. Deep mulches, waterworks upslope to bring water down to this area and spread it across a swale. All of those attributes help provide the fuel to help these plantings grow. It's just a great reminder to lean into the idea that plants are willing to grow very close to each other, and in some ways that helps knit the community and make it a lot stronger. So, living wall, year 3, midsummer on a busy, busy road. Let me know what you think, concerns, questions, ideas. Thanks for watching.